For this mould to work as it should, I need 3 rabbits, but it only come with 1 mould. So that means doing them one at a time. But I'm not only doing them in resin, I'm doing them in casting powder as well. I clearly don't like making life easy, so that's not just 3 rabbits, that's 6 in total. So let's see if I've got the patience and the skills to do 2 matching sets. So using resin left over from a different project, I'm adding the black and the white to create a soft grey marble. And the key here is not over mixing, because once it turns fully grey, you've lost the effect. I'm only filling the rabbit about 3/4 of the way, and we'll just pretend that that's on purpose, rather than the fact I've run out of resin, and there was no way I was mixing up another 30ml just to fill this mould. But even if I had mixed more up, it wouldn't have matched anyway. So I'm going to make this part of a feature by adding some clear and some black and white flowers. So I'm placing them in areas that you'll be able to see them from the front. So mainly in his paws and his tail. So this is the first of 2 sets, 1 resin and 1 casting powder that I've never used before. It was off Amazon and incredibly cheap, but whether it works or not, I don't know, so stay tuned to find out whether it was a complete waste of money or an absolute bargain. Now it's time for the plate. I want to keep this completely clear to really show off the flowers. But I'm still fighting with this edge because it doesn't seem to want to separate properly, which could be an utter disaster. So I'm using flowers from the same set in this plate just so that everything ties together, keeping it simple. I want the clarity of the resin to speak for itself in this piece. So any bubbles or imperfection, you're going to see it straight away. Now that these are fully cured, it's time to see what they look like, and whether the 2 hours I spent babysitting them was worth it. But if this is bubble free, I'll be well impressed. The marbling has come out really subtle, but really nice. And that design is growing on me. But like I always say, some of the best designs are the ones you find on accident. The trouble is now I've got to make 2 more to match the set. Hi, I'm Tony and welcome to Georgie's Gorgeous Gifts. So here's the plate, and look at that clarity. It is crystal clear. Not one single bubble. So far, so good. I'm really happy with both these pieces. Now, these little love heart edges, I was actually trying to separate them earlier because I thought they were stuck together. But turns out they're supposed to be, because they're joined front and back to create these little love hearts all the way around. So now on to the second rabbit. I've mixed up more resin and I've added a couple of drops of the Tea Expert pigment paste, which I have to say is now my favourite white pigment. For this one, I'm aiming for a lighter grey marble. So I'm adding some grey mica powder to some clear resin that I've put aside. Once this is thoroughly mixed, I then add it bit by bit into my white. Now this is where restraint matters, because if you mix in too much, you'll just end up with one flat colour. And we don't want that. You can always add more, but you can never take it away. Because there wasn't quite enough definition there for me, I add a little bit more and fold it in with my mixing stick. In my experience, the biggest factor here is viscosity. The thicker the resin is, the less it blends. But let's be honest, resin just does what it wants to half the time. So I'm using what I know to control what I can. The next tricky piece is getting the level right. Although I wanted each rabbit different, they still needed to look like a set. So this time I'm filling my mould halfway and then giving those arms a bit of a squeeze, because if bubbles are going to hide anywhere, it's going to be there. The last thing I want is to have half his arm missing and have to remake the whole thing again. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a trade-off. The more you move it, the more you blend the marble. But because this was only subtle marbling, I was willing to take that risk. Then it was time to repeat the process with the flowers, so I have sped this bit up for you. I will say that plan to create 2 more rabbit moulds is going to happen sooner than I think. Once all my flowers were in place, I then top it up with some clear resin. But these flowers decided that they didn't want to play ball and they kept rising to the surface. So once again, I had to babysit this, just to keep pushing them back down. So now it was fully cured, let's see how this turned out. This has come out really nice. Definitely more grey than I expected, but I actually really love it. This one, in my opinion, looks more like porcelain than resin, but I am going to have to get my thinking cap on to try and soften that defined line between the grey and the clear. For this next one, I've split my resin into 2 and I'm just adding some white and black pigment paste. So I'm trying to go for a bolder marble this time. So I'm changing it up a bit and using my split pour cup with 3 cavities. I start by filling either side with the white and then the centre one with the black. But I'm only filling the black halfway. just so that it doesn't completely take over. Hopefully this is going to give me more definition between the two colours, as I've also let it thicken a lot more than the previous two. And already you can see the difference. But as I said before, resin has a tendency to do what it wants. But from what I can see through the mould, this is shaping up nicely. Once that's nearly cured, yep, you guessed it, time for more flowers, and then topping it up with the clear resin. Even though they're very different, I still hope they look like part of a set. Once it was fully cured, it was time to demould. And this one's definitely got the strongest marbling. The colours are much more separated and a lot more defined. This is because the resin was thicker before pouring. So you can really see the difference that the viscosity of your resin makes to the type of marbling you want. So far this is definitely my favourite. I only hope that these rabbits can actually hold this plate up after all that work. But look, it actually works. Whether it's going to take the weight of anything on that plate, I don't know, but we'll test that out later. So just as I thought everything was running smoothly, I popped this plate on my kitchen side upside down to fully cure, and it decided that it didn't want to come back off. So after resorting to bribery with a rather large knife, I managed to get it off, but not without chipping a piece off the edge. So that's something we'll fix when we do the details. So now it's time to create the set with casting powder, and I have sped a lot of this up for you. Now I thought this was a great beginner's kit because it comes with 4,500 grams of powder, as well as everything you need to start. Pigments, cups, sticks, gloves, even a gloss varnish. And all for only £37. But as I've learned from experience, when things are this cheap, they're usually not very good. So the first thing that surprised me was how white this powder is. But whether it stays that white once you've added the water remains to be seen. So let's give it a go and find out if it's any good. If it's not, it'll be something else I find in 12 months in the back of a cupboard. So the powder to water ratio with this is 10:3. So I've mixed up 300 grams of powder to 90 grams of water. And I've mixed this up until I've got like a pancake batter consistency. And surprisingly enough, it's still brilliant white. Usually it's that off-white colour. There's only 2 brands on the market that I know that are this white, and both are branded and quite expensive. So I'm trying out the black pigment that come with this pack, and this is made more of a grey colour. I'm then pouring little bits of the grey into the white and giving it a quick fold with my mixing stick. Nothing too drastic, just gently, just so it blends but not fully combines. But here's where things get tricky. Because casting powders go from pourable to not really quickly, before I poured it I wanted it to be a bit thicker. But one minute it was fine, the next minute not so much. It has given me a really nice marble, mind. By the time I'd finished pouring it, it was really unworkable. My biggest concern with this now is air bubbles. So, slight panic, I try to give it a bit of a jiggle. As you can see here, it's already started to set. I suppose that's the risk you take, trying to wait for it to thicken before pouring. That timing has to be spot on. And I know this said 30 minutes demould on the box, but within about 10 minutes, this was completely solid. I'm not demoulding it quite yet though, because I don't want to risk damaging those edges. But from what I can see so far, this is on par with some of the bigger brands. Now it's time for the first rabbit. So I mixed up another batch and added the orange pigment from this pack. But this time I'm mixing it directly into the mould. But there's a little bit of an issue. Surprise, surprise, I hadn't made enough. At this point I probably should have started mixing more. So I'm trying this trick first. To try and raise the level slightly, I'm adding cured bits of casting powder from the previous pour. But don't panic, once it's set, you won't be able to see it. But it's still not enough, so I mixed up just literally another spoonful. And oh my god, am I really that silly? I'm still about 2mm off. So I pop in a bit more of that cured casting powder in the hopes that this would rise fully. I know I didn't want to risk mixing up too much, but this was taking the mick. So to give this a fair chance, I left it for the 40 minutes that it suggests, before I removed it from the mould. And okay, it's not as bold as I was expecting, and it's got that mottling that runs through the middle, but it kind of works. It has that organic look to it that makes it look a bit like stone. So I pop this on my cake rack to dry while we finish the set. And this one is the complete opposite. I really don't like it. There's no marbling, and the colour, that's nearly disappeared. So I'm definitely going to have to rework this one, because it's not going to match the rest of them otherwise. This did take me ages to demould because I was really worried about breaking those ears off, but it's actually held up really well. This stuff's really sturdy. These pigments are a bit crap, but the orange in his head's going to have to go, definitely. So I'll have to put my skills to the test to see if I can fix it. So in the bin that pigment goes, and I'm swapping over to the Jade Diction Resin Creep pigment. And for this one I'm adding 5 drops to 200 grams of powder. This Jade Diction pigment is really, really good. The only other one that compares to it is the Homeware Designs. And already you can see the difference. This one holds its colour so much better. But I was starting to think I'd used too much, so I was a bit more confident about demoulding this one. And this is exactly what I was going for with the plate. It has that cloudy, smoky look, but with that defined black marbling that matches the organic look of the plate. So I've mixed up another batch, and this time I'm adding 2 drops instead of the 5. I'm giving it a couple of stirs with my fork and pouring it straight into the mould. Because I'm not taking any risks this time. I don't want this to cure before I get it into the mould. Because you've seen 5 before, I've sped up this demould. And again, this one has come out really nice. Very similar marbling to the last one. I really do like it. Don't get me wrong, I really like these, but they're a bit, for want of a better word, boring still. And even though they've got that stone look about them, they feel really smooth. I think I've just found my new permanent casting powder. And unlike a lot of the cheaper powders, they've actually got some weight to them. And it's around now that I realise that I've been casting rabbits for about 3 days solid. Finally, the repetitive bit is over. So let's see if I can bring these rabbits to life. To get these to dry a bit quicker, I placed them on my radiator. And now it was time to seal and decorate them. So I've got a few different options. I've got a spray lacquer, gloss polyurethane varnish, and Create and Blooms varnish. And as you can see from the packaging, this one's pretty old and it's gone all nasty and gloopy, so in the bin that one goes. So I'm going for the spray varnish, but because you need really good ventilation for this, I'm going to have to do that outside. So I've given these 3 pieces a couple of coats of the spray lacquer, leaving it to dry in between each coat. And for this third rabbit, we need to change the look altogether. So I did try putting a base coat of grey on, but it wasn't having any of it. It went really patchy. And I hadn't even varnished this one either. So I did the only thing I could do, and that was wipe it all back off and give it a good sand, in the hopes that the paint would adhere to a rougher surface. Well, that's the plan anyway. And luckily enough, it worked. So I'm going back in with the base layer that I made myself using mostly white and 1 drop of black acrylic paint. But I needed to speed up the drying process because this had took a lot longer than I thought. So I'm using my heat gun, just going over the surface to dry each layer as I go. Being careful not to stay in one patch too long because this can cause bubbling in acrylic paint. In total, I give this 3 coats until I had a solid base. Once it was fully dry, it was then time to try and attempt to do the marbling details. I'm not going to lie, for some reason I really struggle with drawing marble lines on pieces. My 2-year-old could probably do a better job, but I'm giving it a go anyway. I want this to look as organic as possible, so I'm randomly creating marbling lines with various shades of grey, black and white. But as I quickly find out, there's a fine line between making it look marbled and just making it look like there's lines drawn all over it. And in my opinion, this was leaning towards the latter. So, change of direction. This is a technique I like to call just shove it all on and hope for the best. So I'm dabbing a baby wipe into the paint, blotting the majority of the paint off, and then dabbing it all over this rabbit. So I'm going in with a darker grey first and then with a white just to soften it all up. Here I'm attempting to look like I know what I'm doing and adding little bits of highlights on his nose, ears and paws, just by dry brushing some white paint on. Finally, this is now looking more like a set. Now the rabbits are nearly finished, it's time to finish off this plate. So I've added some gold mica powder to some UV resin, but it was still a bit too bright, so I've added just a touch of black mica powder just to tone it down a little. And using a cocktail stick, I'm going in with a really thin layer. Not filling these hearts completely, just putting in enough to make them stand out. And just to be even more awkward, you can see that the edge of this plate is slightly on a slant, so it started pooling at the bottom, so I had to go back in with a second layer. As well as curing this as I was going along, I wanted to doubly make sure that it was fully set, so I popped it into my G3 curing machine. Believe it or not, I've had this machine over 6 months and this is only the second time that I've used the UV function on it. These were now so close to being finished. But typical me, I'd spilt some gold mica powder on this plate earlier, and even though I'd wiped it off, you could still see it in certain lights. So instead of fighting it, I just went in with a bit more gold, lightly brushing around the edges of the plate, just so it looks intentional. And just to tie it all together, I did exactly the same thing with these rabbits' ears. And finally, I'm going in with a gold metallic marker, just on that edge of the nose, and one dot for their eyes. And with another 2 coats of varnish, they're finally complete. The one thing I do know is that I won't be making another set of these until I've made another 2 moulds. So on to the resin pieces. For trying to fix this defined line, I'm just going in with a silver pen, lightly picking out the line where the clear meets the grey. Not being too neat, just enough to soften that edge. And then using the silver to add the details to his nose, his eyes and the ends of his ears. All that's left with this one is to fix that little chip. So again, just using UV resin, layering it up bit by bit, just so that it brings it up level. And for the heart, I'm using some silver mica powder and UV resin. And the same as before, just going into all these love heart details. Once I'd gone in with the second coat, I then pop it in my G3 once again for 10 minutes, just to fully cure them. So we have finally finished both sets. And believe me, with only one rabbit mould, it was a bit of a mission. But now that they're finished, this almost feels like an indoor-outdoor set. The resin ones feel more indoor, with that nice, glossy, bit more polished look, whereas the eco-pour ones would look perfect outside on a table in the summer, because these are the ones that have a more natural, organic look and feel to them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And hopefully you've learned something along the way. I know I certainly did. All that's left is for me to leave you with a few final close-ups. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I've been Tony from George's Gorgeous Gifts. Stay safe, happy crafting, and bye for now.